Hey Cooking Club and other friends. I wanted to make this quick video for you guys about this super probiotic yogurt that I've been raving about. You guys know it's been helping me with my sleep, but a host of other things as well, other benefits like better skin, better mood, more muscle, increased mental clarity. I'm reading from this book, highly recommend getting it. I know it's showing up backwards, but it's Super Gut. I don't know how to fix that. And it's by Dr. William Davis. And anyway, so I'm going to show you just the basics. I know a lot of you have been asking me questions, and this way I can just record it, show you, and then you'll have the visual, and also then kind of like an FAQs, I guess, of sorts, like a video one where you can see all the basics. Okay, so all you need is some sort of mixing bowl, a whisk. I have my yogurt maker. I already gave the link to some of you guys, but I will share the link with the rest of you from Amazon. This was $37, and it comes with the yogurt containers as well in that. And then you need some sort of base. So I'm using half and half, but you can use, if you don't eat dairy, you can use coconut milk, you can use almond milk. I think you want to ideally have something with a little bit of fat in it, just to have that consistency of yogurt, like Greek yogurt that we like. Now the key thing is going to be having the starter for your very first yogurt. So you are going to want this one as the basics. It is called, I don't know how to fix the backwards recording here, but in any case, it is called BioGaia, BioGaia, and I got this off of Amazon as well. And you'll only need this the first time that you are making the yogurt, because after that, you're going to use the yogurt, just 2 tablespoons of that as your starter for the next batch of yogurt that you make. So this is just for the first time. Now, today we're going to make one that is specifically for deep sleep. So Tina, this is for you as well, and anyone else who is struggling with sleep. And this is going to be a combination of this one, which I just showed you, and the main probiotic in this one is L. reuteri. It's capital L period REUTERI. So that's the main one. This is kind of that super probiotic. And then, but with it, specifically for deep sleep, we're also going to add a different probiotic that's called Shirota, L-Casei Shirota, Shirota. And it comes from Sprouts, or at least that's where I got it. Supposedly King Soopers has it, but I didn't see it there. And it's a brand name called Yakult, YAKULT. So that's kind of the base. And then for the probiotics to actually have something to eat, we are going to put in unmodified potato starch. I also got this from Amazon. It is called Judee's, JUDEE', and you just need 2 tablespoons of it for each batch of yogurt that you make. And I don't know if you notice the size of this, but it's basically 1 liter. So you've got 32 fluid ounces, or 1 quart. That's the amount that I make every time. So we'll go ahead and get started. So what you're gonna do, super simple, you're just gonna open this up, and then you're not gonna pour all of it at first, because you're gonna wanna make what they call a slurry. So you're just gonna add a little bit of that. No need to measure this, because eventually all of this is going to go into this mixing bowl. But so right now I just put this much in there, so not very much. And then for the first time you do it, you're gonna take out 10 of these tablets from here. You're gonna take out a rolling pin, and on your cutting board, you're just gonna roll those. You're gonna roll them separately and until they're a fine powder, because what you don't really want clumps. You want to make that as fine as possible. Don't worry about smushing up those probiotics. They're teeny anyway, so you're not going to be able to crush them. So you're going to make that into a fine powder. You're going to mix that fine powder into the little bit of half and half that you have here. And then you can choose if you want to add this to it, you can. That's the one I'm going to make here, but you don't have to. In fact, this is the first time that I'm making this mixed with this Shirota probiotic. The other times I've just used the L. reuteri, which is the one that's in this light blue container. And that is completely fine on its own. So you don't have to add something, but I want to improve my sleep even more, so I am including this. I am not going to crush another 10 of these tablets because I still have my yogurt in the refrigerator, so I'm going to go grab that. Somewhere. I'm going to pause while I find that yogurt. Okay, so this is the yogurt I have from the refrigerator, and see the consistency of it is, this one actually has a little bit more liquid, but tends to be a little bit thicker. So all we're going to do for this, you really don't need to be super even precise with it, but you're going to measure out approximately 2 tablespoons. You can use that liquid if you don't like that. That's just the way. And then you're just going to put that all in there. And then you're just going to, oh, I need the potato starch. That's right. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of the potato starch. Again, you don't need to be super precise with it. You're just measuring approximately 2 tablespoons of it, enough for them to eat. I think that was a little less than 2 tablespoons. So add a little more. I'm just taking my whisk and I am just mixing all of that up. You just don't want to have like super big clumps in there, but nothing is really that big of a deal, I found. I did want to mention though that the very first time that you make this yogurt, you may end up with curds and whey in some of your containers. That is totally normal for some reason on that very first batch when you're starting with the tablets for some reason. But then you don't need to worry. Then that goes away. And then chat with me if that happens to you, because I'll give you some uses of that curds and whey, because it's still full of all the good probiotics. It just may not be the consistency that you want to eat yogurt. Okay, so I've mixed that up, and then I'm just gonna mix in the rest of this half and half. And I'm just mixing it in, that's it. I mean, that's like, this is the base. It's like, it could not be any easier, right? Okay, so then, I mean, the trickiest part, I think, is pouring them into the yogurt maker over there without making a mess. So what I have found helps is having a measuring cup or something like that. So that's kind of what I've been doing. But so I showed you these earlier. These are the ones that came with the yogurt maker. I've been using these for a different type of yogurt, kind of it's a mixed strain of 3 different probiotics, which, so I'm keeping those for the mixed strain, and then I'm keeping this style, which I also got from Amazon. They're not really yogurt makers, they're just little storage containers, but they've worked great as well for the yogurt. So these wider ones I've been using for my L. reuteri yogurt, and today it'll be used for the L. reuteri mixed with the Shirota yogurt. So that's how I keep it. But you can actually tell which one is which, because the L. reuteri, anything with the L. reuteri yogurt tends to be tangier than the other probiotics for whatever reason it is. So much so that you might, and my mother-in-law said this too when I had her try it, is that it almost tastes like it might be a little bit spoiled, but I promise you it's not spoiled. I've been eating it now for a few weeks and I haven't had stomach issues from it. In fact, what I think is really cool is that that I'm lactose intolerant, but with this yogurt, I don't even need to take my lactase pill, because the probiotics are eating all of the sugar that's in the yogurt. And lactose, as it ends in OSE, just like glucose, dextrose, anything ending in an OSE is a form of carbs. It's a form of sugar. So it's eating the lactose from the yogurt. So I don't even have to deal with any digestive issues from dairy in here. Now the casein, I believe, will still stay in there, Heidi. I know that's a concern of yours. So you can always use non-dairy. But yeah, so L-reuteri will be tangy, but I think it's worth it, even if it's not like, if you don't like the tangy yogurt, I still think it's worth it for all the benefits. Okay, so we're gonna start pouring that into the yogurt maker. And then the key thing is the temperature that you set your yogurt maker at, as well as the duration. So yogurt probiotics double every 3 hours. So just to keep it simple, let's say we're starting with 100 probiotics. Well, in 3 hours later, you're gonna have 200 probiotics. 3 hours after that, you'll have 400, 800, 1600. You kind of get the message here. So you can imagine that with the longer fermentation time that we're going to have at 36 hours, keep in mind that grocery stores or the manufacturers, they are only making their yogurts with a maximum of 6 hours. And then most of them mix in some kind of gum or some other thing to have it that yogurt kind of consistency. But instead, what we're doing is we're letting the probiotics do all of that work. So we're not adding any fillers, any gums, or anything like that. So with the 36 hours, with the doubling thing, I mean, I haven't done the full math. If we started at 100 probiotics that we started with, and then it went up to, I think we counted up to 1600, but then it's gonna go up to, in the 24 to 36 hours, I mean, it exponentially, that number just goes up so quickly towards the end of the fermentation cycle of the 36 hours. You saw those 12 extra hours between the hours of 24 hours and 36 hours. And that's where really all of the magic happens. So you don't want to skimp out and take it out after 24 hours, even if it looks like yogurt, because you're going to miss out on having the trillions of good probiotics in the yogurt. And that's kind of the whole benefit of doing it. Now, if you have a good gut and you really don't care about that, and you're just having this, you just want to make your own yogurt, yeah, sure, go ahead and do that. But I mean, who doesn't want to have better muscle tone and better skin and deeper sleep? So I say just go the extra 12 hours at that point. You know what I mean? Okay, so I think this is going to be too much for these 3 containers that I have, because I ended up using, I like the way that these containers look with the cute little lids, so I ended up using them for other things too. So I am gonna mix and match, and then I guess I'll just label it afterwards, and hopefully I won't mix up which one is which, but that's fine. All right, so we're just gonna pour the rest of this in here. And then each of the probiotics have an ideal temperature, so they're not all exactly the same. So for L-reuteri thrives at around 100 degrees, like right above our body temperature, right? So you don't want to turn your yogurt maker on too high, otherwise you're going to kill those probiotics. And I did read one of the reviews for this particular yogurt maker, and it did say that it can be off by as much as 2 degrees. So, you know, we want to be, I mean, generally speaking, I'm not like a very precise French cook or anything, so I'm more of a country cook, just like throw everything in there and it'll all be fine. But with this yogurt, I have been really particular about the temperature that it's at, because I want those particular benefits of having it and kind of going through the effort of making this, even though you see that it's really not a lot of effort. It's just, I'm showing you all of this, so it's taking me all a little bit longer to talk and do everything. But yeah, so all of those are now filled, so I'm gonna just cap them off. You don't need to cap it super tight. If you have other glass jars, you have like mason jars or other things, you can just do plastic wrap on top of it, just lightly coated. We're not heating this up super bad, so, you know, super high, so you don't have to worry about the plastic going into the yogurt, and it's not touching the yogurt at the top anyway. So I've got that. This yogurt maker, you can pour water into the sides. So I'm gonna do that. Eventually, you guys don't need to see that. You know what that's all like. So, and then you plug it in and you cover it. And then the key thing is on the timer, which I guess I could show you guys, but you will. I mean, it's pretty self-evident when you do it, but I will show you here. I'm gonna have to scoot this over to plug it in. Let's see. Maybe I've got a plug on this side. Okay, so the L-Reuteri, as I said, that temperature, the ideal temperature is about 100. However, this one, if you recall, I also put in this Shirota probiotic. So of course, like complicated. So now I've got to look up what the ideal temperature is of this. The book, that book I showed you, Super Gut, it says that for deeper sleep, you combine L-Reuteri yogurt with the Al-Kasai Shirota for greater effects. And it says that if you're fermenting it together, as we are, that you should ferment it at between 104 to 106 degrees Fahrenheit. So I think this doctor, his philosophy is that we sacrifice a little bit of the L-Reuteri. You might kill some of that, but there'll still be enough of it there that he thinks that combining it and just having it at that temperature is okay. I'm gonna go with that lower temperature of 104. And what I've noticed with this particular yogurt maker is that it is off sometimes by up to 2 degrees. So I've been using a meat thermometer. So after it's in here for, like I usually start at nighttime like this, that I will, the next morning when I get up, I will check the water temperature. So I will just open it up, stick this in here and see what the water temperature is. If the water temperature is too high, then I just decrease the temperature using here. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this guy started. So I'm hitting function, and then this is where the temperature is. So knowing that this one runs a little bit hot, I am going to set this at 103. So that way, if it runs a little bit hot by 2 degrees, it'll still be within that window that the doc calls for between 104 and 106. Then you hit the start button. Oh, it looks like it did it. Okay, well, I guess I didn't move fast enough. All right, we're just gonna unplug and start that over. Okay, so we've got function. We're gonna do the temperature. We said we're gonna do 103. Then you hit start, and then this is where you set the time. It's at 8 hours right now, and I'm just gonna keep going up to 36 hours. So if you have a different yogurt maker, you just wanna make sure that it can go up to, I'm sorry, 36 hours, yeah. 36 hours. And then you just hit the start again. And there you go. And then literally you don't need to touch it again. If you don't want to use water in here for some reason, that I've had friends who do that and it works out just fine too. I don't know. I like the water in there just to keep the temperature maybe a little bit more stable. I sometimes have this near a window, and so just in case there's a draft or something in there, I like having that water there as a buffer. And really that's it. There was one other thing I was going to mention about this though. Well, one of the things is that if you do need to adjust the time or the temperature, this yogurt maker is kind of cheap. So I have to unplug the whole unit. I just look at how many hours are left. I unplug the whole unit, I plug it back in, and then I do that setting again, and then I just add the number of hours that I had remaining. The other thing I wanted to mention is that some of you may have an Instant Pot or some other kind of unit like that that has a lot of different functions. Mine, I thought maybe did have a yogurt maker. However, the temperature wasn't low enough. So that one wasn't going to work for this yogurt that I wanted to make. It probably works for just for like general yogurt, but it's not going to work for the L-Reuteri yogurt, which is the one I want. So that's why I got this, and I'm not using my Instant Pot. I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, you obviously know how to get in touch with me. All right. Hope this was helpful. Bye.